PS4 tutorial. So in this one, I'm gonna show you how you can set up GTA 5 completely online on a jailbroken PS4 so you can play online with other people. Now, this does not use the official servers. It is using a private server to accomplish this. But this private server used to be a paid server, where you had to pay about $5 a month for access. But it has since gone free to play, which means you can now access this completely on your jailbroken PS4. And there are more players now available to play with. Now that it has gone free to play, there's a lot more players now on the server, which is fantastic. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to set this up in this video. I did do a setup guide for the earlier version when it first came out, but the installation steps have changed quite a bit since then. And fortunately, that has meant that during that change of installation steps, the PS5 is no longer supported, although PS5 is scheduled to get support within the next few weeks, according to the developer. So if you guys want me to also do a guide for the PS5, I'll be happy to do that once it's available, but for now, it's PS4. It also supports Xbox 3, and it's also coming soon to the PC and the Xbox One as well. So the private server is Los Santos Online to get started here. What we need to do is head to the website and then scroll down to the Get Started section and click this option. Now when you do this, it will ask you to authorize through your Discord account. So you'll need to make sure that you have a Discord account set up that you can use to authorize. That will then bring up this registration page where you need to enter a username for your PS4. You can also add one for Xbox as well. So just go ahead and add whatever username you want to be known by on this private server, and then once that's done, you can accept that. And it will then take you over to the online dashboard. Now once you're on the dashboard, we can head over to the settings. That will take us over to the account settings. And we want to select PlayStation 4. And you can see here we have our GTA 5 version. So the latest version is 1.53 at the time I'm recording. So whatever, the latest game patches for the game will likely be supported here. And that is the one that is recommended to use, because there'll be more players running the latest version. But it does also support the previous version 1.52, which is important if you have a retail version of the game. So if you're using a retail copy, a disc version of the game and not a fake package version, and you're on firmware 12.02 on the PS4, then you can use your retail copy and get it set up. Here on the server, all you have to do is simply install the game by inserting the game disc. And then once it's installed, you can run the items flow game manager, which you can install from the homebrew store, and then select the game inside the items flow game manager and select the retail game updates section. If you go in there, you can then install a specific game update, and you'll notice that 1.53 is too high of an update to work on 12.02. It's not compatible, but 1.52 is compatible on 12.02. So you could download and install that from Items Flow. And then once that update has been installed to your retail copy, you'll be able to set up the private server, so you can access it with that version. But generally, I would recommend using a fake package version of the game so that you can install the 1.53 backport patch to be able to run the latest version, which has more players available. Plus also, another benefit of using the latest version is these backport patches. Some of them have mod menus that you can access. Others have performance improvements like 60 FPS patches. So you have the option to install those. So it is allowed to use a mod menu as long as you're not griefing people with it. As far as I'm aware, that is the general idea. So yeah, generally, I would recommend the fake package version. So all you gotta do is download a fake package version of the game and a fake package version of the 1.53 It can be the regular version, or it can have a mod menu, whatever you prefer. Then you just copy those to package files to the root of your USB drive, the game, and the update. And then simply plug that USB into the PS4. Go to the golden settings and the package installer, and then simply install the game package, and then the update package afterwards. And that will get the fake package version of the game installed with the 1.53 update. Okay, so once you have the game and update installed, we can head over to our settings. Scroll down to our system settings and system information. Make sure that your console is connected to the network, because we need an internet connection to be able to connect to the private server. So also we want to make sure we're running Goldhen version to point for 18.6 or whatever the latest version of Goldhen is. Now the reason for that is that we want to make sure that we have time synced, because that can cause problems if your date and time is out of sync when it comes to connecting to the server. So if we head over to our gold hand settings, head down to our settings menu here, go to date and time, and make sure you update the date and times so that it is synced, as we can see right there. So actually you can see the time has changed. So my time was out of sync there and it has just been resynced. Then, if we go back into the gold 10 settings and go to the server settings, we want to enable the FTP server. Note down the IP address and port number that show up there. And that notification because we need to transfer the files using FTP. Do not use PS4 Explorer for this. It needs to be FTP, and there is a valid reason for that. It's to do with the file permissions. But anyway, we want to go ahead and then enable finally, that. Last thing is to go into the cheat settings. Go to the Show Title ID and select Title ID and App Version. And that is just so that you can see what version of the game installed here. So we can see I have version 00. For 9 the US version on version 1.53. And I also have my retail copy, which is the European version 1 on version 1.52. So now we just want to select our game region and version. So for me, I'm gonna use the US version that I've got installed, the fake package version, so I can run the latest game update with more players. So we're gonna go ahead and select 9 for me, which is the US version, and then version 1.53, the latest version. You would just select whichever version you have installed. So the European version or the US version and 1.52 or whichever one you have. And then we can download the P or X file for 1.53 in this case. And also the plugins.i and I file as well. We want to download both of those. I'll just say no download unverified file. And then also we need to get our login token, which will authenticate us on the private server. So we need to get that from BlueSphere from the bot on the Discord. So when you authorized your account, it should have given you access to the LSO Discord server. So on the Discord server, you want to go to the bot commands section here. Type in / to get all of the commands. And then we want to select the login token option here to generate or refresh your login token for BlueSphere. So if I select that option and then press enter, you can see here we get the information. So we get login token generated. So all we need to do is select the option to copy this token. So if we just open up a notepad document and paste in that token, and then we just want to go ahead and save that. So we'll go to save as, and I'll save that to my desktop as bluesphere.txt. And I'll save that file okay. So now we can use an FTP client like FilaZilla or Win to copy the files over to our PS4. So to do this, we're going to log in with FilaZilla. So in the host box, we're gonna enter the IP address of our PS4, which in my case was 137.12.1, and then the port number was 2121. And we can quick connect to allow access to our PS4's hard drive over the network. So from here we can go into the data folder on the hard drive, and then go into the golden folder. Now in here there's a few things that we need to create. So if you already have plugins installed, and you have certain plugins configured, then replacing your plugins file with this one will erase your current plugin configuration and replace it with this one. So what you can do instead is just open up this plugins file here and copy the contents of this plugins file and edit your existing plugins file and add this to the end of your existing plugins list. That way it will not override your current plugins. But if you're not using any other plugins, you can just go ahead and copy this plugin file into the golden folder. Then go into the plugins folder itself and copy the LSO PRX file into this plugins folder. If this plugins folder does not exist on your console, just create the folder yourself. Right-click, create a new directory. Call it plugins all lowercase and then copy the LSOPRX inside. That is all you have to do there to get the plugin installed. Now lastly, we need to get the authentication token installed as well. This goes in a slightly different location. So with the authentication token, we need to go back out to the data folder and then create a new directory in here. So we'll create a BlueSphere folder in here. So make sure it's called BlueSphere in all lowercase characters, and then go into that folder and copy your BlueSphere .txt file that contains your login token into that folder. And that is it. That's all you have to do to get the setup installed here. For the console, the very last step here is just to make sure that you have the plug enabled by going back into the golden settings, going to the plugin settings and enabling the plugins loader. This option will likely be grayed out if you did not have any plugins installed previously. But once you have the GTA LSO plugin you should be able to enable this option here to enable the plugins loader. So once that's enabled, we can then go back and run GTA 5. So I'm gonna run the 1.53 version that I have the private server set up for. And this should allow us to get connected here to the private server. So there we go, welcome modded You warfare. Have been successfully logged into Los Santos powered Online by BlueSphere Fantastic. So there we go, BlueSphere is being initialized successfully. Okay, so once the game will start loading, to load into the story mode. But you can see we have the option to press square to switch to online. So if we press square, it will switch to our online mode and get us connected to the private server. Now, if you only load into story mode, if it doesn't give you the option to switch to online, it's probably because you don't already have a save file. So you have to complete the prologue. In this story before, it will give you access to the online mode. So either just install a save that's already completed, like a modified save file through Apollo, or just play through the prologue until you unlock the online, and then you can connect online. And yeah, as long as this loads, we should be good. So there it is. Grand Theft Auto Online. Okay. So I spawned in here, hopped into this vehicle, as you guys can see. So we are running GTA Online right now. If I take a look at the map, we can see there is a bunch of other players all over the place. So we've got a bunch of them all over the place here. As you can see all over the map, there's quite a few players. If I press down, we have 17 people currently in the game. So it is pretty full, a lot of modified ranks. There's a lot of people using mod menus. I do have one myself. If I open it with L3 and R3, there is this mod menu from Andrew 2007. There's another guy who's just spawned on me. So pretty much everybody, it seems like, is using mods. So that is allowed on this server. So if you're not somebody who's into mod menus, this might not be for you. Because this seems to be designed just as more of a sandbox for people to screw around online with other players who are also using mods. SO and most of the 1.53 updates that you will find do, in fact, have mods installed now. Maybe the 1.50 to people, if you went on the 1.52 version, there might be less people using mods, so if you're not into the whole mod menu thing, then perhaps 1.52 might be better with less people with mod menus. But if you are into mod menus and just want to screw around online on with other people who are also using mods, then this is definitely for you. So yeah, anyway. So that is basically how you get GTA Online set up and running on a jailbroken PS4. There is going to be PS5 support coming in the next few weeks, apparently according to the developer. So I'll probably cover that once it has PS5 support as well. It's also worth mentioning that in order to keep this service it is relying on donations now that it is no longer a paid service. So if you appreciate it and you enjoy using this private server, then do consider leaving a donation to maintain it and keep the service running. There is a donation link if you go into the online dashboard and you go over to the settings page. Down at the bottom there is an option for donating. So if you want to keep this private server around, then consider donating to help maintain it. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this one. So hope you guys enjoyed this video or found the information useful. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. As always,